We are live on Substack.
Wow. I heard us on Substack.
I know. There's a slight delay. So, hello to everybody who's joining us. We're testing out going live on Substack here on Riverside, which is a platform we usually use to podcast. And in theory, will prevent major technical malfunctions like what happened during the Emmy nominations. Chris, have you recovered from your PTSD from monologuing?
Wow, it was great. I felt like I was in a post-apocalypse, just talking into nothing, right? 'Cause I was like, where am I? No one's here.
I just left you as in the lurch as anyone has ever been left in the lurch. I felt really bad about it, but it seems like people liked it. The comments were nice. I mean, the YouTube comments, we've talked about this from the video that we put up there. Everyone on YouTube is thrilled for Chris.
They love it.
Love
seeing it.
Love having you back.
Yes.
So we should say this kind of Substack live check-in on Friday specifically is something that we will do a lot of once the Prestige Junkie After Party launches. So this right now is free to everybody. Everything we do will remain free to everybody until August 1st. But at that point, you should start subscribing to the After Party. So I guess we got to make this good to make people want to subscribe to the After
No
Party.
pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. So really the main purpose of this was kind of a tech check to see if we could pull off this Riverside combo, which is what we've done. But there's been some news that's happened since we last spoke on Tuesday, and I don't know. Do you want to start with our lingering Emmy takes? I feel like you had suggested coming in hot with a few more takes before we get into the rest of the news of the week.
I had a few lingering takes. One of them was about best drama series, because we talked about this when we talked on Tuesday. I guess that was. Now it feels the week went so fast, Katey. It really did. Mm-hmm. But how Severance had 27 nominations, and it seems like it's a front runner, but maybe The Pitt could win on enthusiasm, and that'll be kind of our battle. But as someone I think in the comments mentioned as we were going through, The Pitt missed a nomination for editing, which I was like, that's curious. And I went back and looked, and so the only since 2010, that's a long time, the only best drama winner without an editing nomination was The Handmaid's Tale. And so I'm like, oh, so basically The Pitt would have to do something that is pretty unique if it was going to upset Severance, which had, I think, 3 editing nominations on its own.
Wow. I remember one on Tuesday and we were just kept scrambling through our PDFs. I'm still doing it. They have not been closed on my computer. It has 3 editing nominations along with The Last of Us, Andor, and The White Lotus. Do you not think Severance just splits its own vote there though?
Well, it could. I think the win there for Severance is maybe immaterial to just the fact that it's there.
It's
whereas
the fact that it got all the nominations. Yeah.
And then I was kind of even going further, and I'm like, so Severance has 2 directing nominations, and so does The Pitt. And then Severance has 1 writing nomination, and I believe The Pitt has 2. So what if The Pitt doesn't win writing and doesn't win directing? Where I think your beloved Andor, one of those 2 spots, could find itself.
I love your theory that Andor could win directing. I want that to be true so badly.
And so then I'm like, okay, so then I went through again. These are just nonsense, but for best drama winners to lose directing and editing, which The Pitt would potentially do, Succession in 2022, but that was a 3-way vote split for Succession in directing, which is rare to overcome. Game of Thrones in 2018, a 3-way vote split in editing, and Mad Men in 2011 and 2010. So basically the point is, if you were high on The Pitt winning on vibes, which I feel like I am, there's a little cold water on that just because Severance has so many really big nominations.
I've been such a believer in The Pitt as the underdog here, and I do think the huge tally for Severance has made it a little harder to make the case for that. And I mean, I'm sure we talked about this on Tuesday though, there's just no knowing. We're not going to know what happens. Maybe in phase 2 there's a big FYC event. I mean, the cast of The Pitt is in production, so they're in LA. They could all do something. The cast of Severance is presumably all over the place because I don't know when they're filming the next season, but it will probably be winter. So I don't think they're on set right now. I don't think that there is such a thing as summer in the world of Severance. But yeah, we just go through August. I mean, we'll be talking to people. Obviously, we'll have events coming up. We'll be able to check in individually, but the vibe check, I don't know how you do a phase 2 vibe check for Emmys.
I don't know. I think it's a lot of just and we're saying too, are these people how invested will people be in phase 2, and will they just already do Emmy voters already know what they're going to vote for pretty much, right? That kind of thing.
Think they probably, that would be my guess, is that they probably do. I would love to start when I get back to LA and get to some more of these events, like I would love to start talking to voters and be like, is there a show that you're watching? Like, I wonder if there are some people who didn't watch Paradise, and now that it turned out to be a Best Drama Series nominee, like, not that I don't think I'll predict it for a win anywhere, but I think that there's potential to pick up some stuff in there too.
I had another Emmy hot take that I wanted to run by you.
So I have one, but yeah, I think you
go then. You go next. No, you go next.
Well, my one, I mean, it's a little repetitive of what I've been saying before, and of course, I've been thinking about this because I talked to Jeff Hiller earlier this week about his surprise nomination for Somebody Somewhere. But I do think the potential for chaos in the Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series is huge. Like, I guess the smart money is on Ike Barinholtz at this point because of how dominant the studio is. Like, Paul Downs doesn't get in for Hacks. Like, you can see that in that category specifically, it's strong. But, like, Harrison Ford is a real X factor. Bowen Yang is a real X factor. Like, Jeff Hiller is an X factor. Like, if he had enough passion to get in there for that nomination, he could totally win. And I keep thinking about Lamorne Morris winning for Fargo last year, who, like, I didn't think was going to be nominated. He shows up in that category that everyone sort of thought would go default to Robert Downey Jr. for The Sympathizer. That was a lone nominee, basically. And so, the show didn't have the passion. And I'm trying to remember who else was in that. It was supporting actor in a limited series. I'm trying to remember who else was nominated.
I want to say, was Jonathan Bailey nominated for Fellow
Travelers? That sounds
was
right.
Was that this year or last year?
I think that's right. Jonathan Bailey, God, he's so much more famous now than he was that time. It's kind of amazing what a year he's had. So anyway, like, that was such like a black swan event of an Emmy win. And it was wonderful because he seemed to surprise as anyone that it happened. So I think supporting actor in a comedy is where we could see, like, like Michael Urie could win, like something totally that seems like totally unexpected could happen there. Because I think if you get enough vote splitting and the votes are evenly distributed of the way I think they will be, weird things can happen.
I love that. I love that hot take. I think that is. I was thinking I was thinking two other acting categories kind of going together, and thinking of Severance overall. I think Trammell Tillman for supporting actor feels to me like already I could see that win coming because I don't know if you saw online, like on social media, did you see he had like a Tram Emmy? His team made a Tram Emmy shirt. I'll send you this link.
I don't know if I approve of that portmanteau. I love Trammell Tillman so much, but I don't know. I feel like we could workshop that a little bit more.
I can't even. You can't find anything on whatever this social media Twitter is called anymore. But anyway, so I was like, I think he could win over. Like, I think obviously like people are expecting Walton Goggins right there, right? Yeah. But I was like, with the way the White Lotus's nominations shook out, I'm like, I think Jason Isaacs, like, you talked to him, he was like a #1 campaigner.
He has been absolutely everywhere.
And I'm like, people liked him, and I don't know. So I was like, I think Trammell Tillman could win in supporting actor. And then I was looking at actress, where everyone has Kathy Bates, beloved Kathy Bates, who would be like multiple Emmy like notable records if she wins. I think she was the oldest nominee, right? So she'd be like the oldest Emmy winner.
She's the oldest nominee in this category.
In this category, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And so the oldest Emmy winner for Best Actress. The first time a network show has won here since like Viola Davis, I think, for How to Get Away with Murder. So that's almost a decade, right? Yeah. She'd be the first lone nominee to win because Matlock did not get any other nominations. So she would be the first lone nominee, I think, to win since Tatiana Maslany for Orphan Black, one of the years she won. And then, like, I think only the third since this century. I think the others were like Patricia Arquette for Medium, and I believe Seal Award, though I could be wrong, for Brothers and Sisters or whatever.
God, you have got,
I was looking up a lot of Wikipedia, Katey, a lot of Wikipedia. So I was like, so Kathy Bates would be like a great winner. And I think, again, like, this is one of those things where I was just mentioning before, where I'm like, oh, do people just, are you Emmy voters like Kathy Bates already won kind of thing, right? Where I'm not even going to put a lot of thought into this, but just because
already won is in like they're gonna, not that like she already won by getting the nomination, but like they just assume that she's won,
right? Yeah. So like I'm like, oh, I'll just vote for her. But I'm also like Severance, again, super popular, and I would like Britt Lower or Lauer, Katey. I would say
Lauer. I believe it is Lauer.
Britt Lauer. I was like, incredible performance in season 2, really beloved, kind of under the radar, maybe an underdog there, and I wonder if the enthusiasm for Severance is so strong that she could win over Kathy Bates, and it's like a total surprise.
You're all in on Severance. You're just waiting.
I kind of am, maybe.
Yeah, I'm answering. I'm keeping an eye on the side of the chat on Substack Live, and
Yes.
Hannah, our colleague, was asking if we expected Carrie Coon to be the only one of the 3 women nominated. I think so. I feel like it felt really up in the air until that final episode and that monologue she gave, and she just kind of like managed to like run to the front of the pack that way.
Yeah, I was really pulling for Leslie Bibb myself, but it just didn't happen. I feel like one of these years she's maybe season 2 of Palm Royale, whenever that comes out, like she'll get in. I just feel
That
like
show got nominations.
I feel like the momentum is building to a Leslie Bibb Emmy nomination for one of
Yeah,
these. So I don't know.
I like the idea of that. I
Yeah.
feel like everyone leaves the White Lotus and goes on to do interesting things. Okay, are you ready to pivot to our other news of the week? That okay, so have you got your Odyssey IMAX tickets for July? It's Friday, July 18th. Not 1 calendar year away from now, but this is the Friday that next year the Odyssey will open. And if you want to commit, you can get your IMAX tickets right now.
I did not get tickets, Katey. I feel like I missed out. Now I'm like, how am I going to see this in the format that Christopher Nolan wants in 70 millimeter IMAX at Lincoln Square in AMC Lincoln Square?
I'm trying to think of the last time I saw a Nolan movie because I don't have a 70 millimeter IMAX theater anywhere near me. Like, and I honestly think the AMC in Lincoln Square is the closest one to me, or maybe in Indianapolis. Like, there are no good options. I saw Oppenheimer in digital IMAX, which was awesome. So I feel like I can settle for that. Do you feel like this is unbearable hubris on Nolan's part, or is this awesome?
I don't know. Is it Nolan's part or is it the IMAX? Like the theater's part, I guess. I was like, how much? Like, I'm like, this movie's not even done.
Or Universal.
Yet, right?
Yeah.
It's not even done. It's already sold out and people are selling tickets I saw on like eBay, right? I'm like, I guess, I mean, like, we'll be assuming, I'm assuming I'll be lucky enough to be invited to a screening, right, for this eventually. So maybe I'll be like an elite.
I hope they want to show it to you.
An elite member of
I see.
The
you
press,
don't have to get your
I'm
ticket,
like,
but you'll get invited to the 70.
Right, but I'm like, if I was just like, I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't get tickets, and now I'm like never going to see this movie. I guess I'll see it in like August or something." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." I mean,
I as a Philistine, I guess I feel like the digital IMAX version is okay, not like the ideal format. You might have gotten the same dispatch from a mutual friend of ours who had a friend who was on the set of the Odyssey, and the spoiler that we got was big ass boat, which is great. Can't wait to see that big boat. I assume there's multiple boats in the Odyssey. I don't remember it that well, but it seems like a lot of boats.
I don't either. I was going to pick it up. Maybe I should read it, Katey.
I was thinking about that.
Maybe we should do that for an after party.
Yeah, we would have some time. I know that I've read parts of it, like in high school, but I'm certain I didn't read the whole thing. Like, it's really long.
Yeah.
It's an odyssey, as you might imagine.
I got that.
We got to see if I can get through Vineland. Going to the beach next week. Got my copy of Vineland. I've been reading it slowly for a while. It's very fun.
Oh, good.
And then Ballad of a Small Player. Actually, this is a good pivot to the next topic. I also have Ballad of a Small Player, which is like, it's like so thin. Like, it's just like this little breeze. And last year I read Conclave on the beach. So if I can read Edward Berger's next movie on the beach, it's a tradition unlike any other.
We got the images for that this week.
Yeah.
It looked cool. I was
Colin
like,
Farrell
great.
looking sad with some neon behind him. Like, this is what the people want.
I was like, this looks like Edward Berger doing Nicholas Winding Refn. That was my first thought. With like the neon, it's like thinking, sweaty neon.
You were thinking
I don't know.
Only God Forgives is the
Which I'm sure no one involved, not a single soul involved with this movie wants to be competent. Only God Forgives. But that was the third thing. They're not watching. Here, they're fine. It's just between us. But no, I was like, oh boy. I was like, that was the vibes I was getting. But he looked great. He looked like it looked like real sweat. He was just very sweaty.
Oh, okay. Like so even in the images, you could tell. That
I just thought that's what it looked like to me. Yeah.
And that's what's very important to you. Yeah. We were getting a little bit of intel from Netflix about this movie, and it seems like it really is the Colin show. Like it's not a call-in show, but Colin Farrell show. I mean, I think he's the center of every single one of those images. There might have been another person in them. So I'm in.
Wouldn't it be funny if like this movie? So Edward Berger had All Quiet on the Western Front, huge Oscar movie. He misses director, right? Conclave misses director.
Yeah.
And then wouldn't it be funny if this movie is not a Best Picture nominee, but somehow Edward Berger gets in for Best Director? That was what I was thinking too. Because I feel like just looking at the field and looking at the priorities for each studio and stuff, like this is not. I don't feel like Netflix has so many movies that are like huge Best Picture players that this is probably not one of those Best Picture players, but I'm like, it could really do well other places, including like Colin Farrell.
But
and then
also,
I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if he got in?
But also, people like Edward Berger movies. Like
They do.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, being like, what if he just has the Ron Howard thing, where in the '90s, where he's just like kind of a journeyman, making a bunch of different kinds of movies, making them really well, getting good. Like that's great. Love to have a modern not that Ron Howard's Emmy nominee is not gone anywhere, but you know what I mean.
I do.
I guess Eden's coming into theaters in a couple weeks, and I missed it at TIFF last year.
Now you can see it.
Speaking of TIFF, though, does the timing of those Ballad of a Small Player images make you assume it will be on the TIFF lineup coming next week?
Yeah, I would be. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same.
The end. Yes.
Because we got, they're doing an interesting rollout where there's like this drip drop of TIFF titles that have come. And this week we got Wake Up Dead Man, which I think everyone alive thought was going to be on there. It's like the other two Knives Out movies. Also, like seeing, did you ever see a Knives Out movie at TIFF?
No.
Like, it's the best. Like, I saw the first one at Toronto. Blew the roof off the place. It's great. It's the perfect place to put that. Hamnet was on there, listed as a Canadian premiere, which, would you like to tell the people what that means?
Well, it means that it's likely playing Venice and Telluride, right, first, because of the Canadian premiere. If it was something else, like...
If it was a North American
premiere,
it would be only in Venice.
Yes.
And I guess if it was only in Telluride, it would be...
International, or no, I guess it would be
but it's
Canadian.
Because Nomadland won Venice, so there's just no reason for it
not
to go there.
Yeah.
What else was on that? Oh, Rental Family. That was one of the other big titles on there. And I feel like hours before we learned of the existence of this TIFF lineup, you were like, did you know that Brendan Fraser's got a movie coming? I was like, no, he doesn't.
I was like,
new to me.
This movie, I was like, I know very little about it. It's directed by Hikari, who did episodes of Beef, I believe. It was some of the
between Hikari and Jake Schreier, who directed Thunderbolts. Like the Beef directorial pipeline is strong,
really strong. And then Brendan Fraser, obviously, his like return to a lead. Obviously, he was in like Flower Moon, but a return to like a lead role after winning for The Whale, which I don't think. Probably aged poorly from the jump, right? I don't know how many people were super.
It aged poorly at the time that it was.
Yeah,
in theaters, unfortunately.
And I'm like, just like, this is a movie to me where I was like looking at what it's about, looking at like very early like trolling Reddit and stuff, and seeing what people are saying about like early test screenings that may or might. All this stuff is like speculative, may or not be true. I was like, that to me looks like a movie that could be if it's like as really like as warm-hearted and like I don't know like crowd pleasing as maybe it seems. It could be like an audience award contender to me, and then all of a sudden it's like
all of these titles are trying to do going to Toronto, right? Like everyone who thinks they have any kind of audience player. Like I don't think Hamnet. Like I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. It seems like really sad, so probably not an audience award winner. But that is the vibe of TIFF, is that you bring something that will play with the people.
And I'm like, so if that gets in for an audience, I'm like, but Brendan Fraser return Oscar nomination is basically what I think here.
Even though Best Actor is like crazy crowded.
I mean, if it's like why not?
Okay. Okay, I think I said we're going to aim for 20 minutes, so we're getting toward a wrapping point. Okay. But I want to talk about that After the Hunt trailer.
Oh, we got to talk about this.
A title that I would love to be at Toronto, because I will be there, but we all assume we'll be at Venice, because Luca loves Venice. That's, I think I did the math. Like every movie since Call Me By Your Name has premiered at Venice, including like Bones and all.
Yep.
Anyway, that After the Hunt trailer was super fun. My big takeaway from it was Andrew Garfield, and maybe that's me revealing my biases here, but I thought he looked so good.
As speaking as someone who before all of these movies were released last year, and like at this point last year, I was like Andrew Garfield, Best Actor nominee for the A24 movie with Florence Pugh that I can't even remember the name of.
We Live in Time.
It's like, let's get Andrew
Garfield. Speaking of a movie that plays with the people.
I was like, let's get Andrew Garfield an Oscar nomination for We Live in Time. It seems like his time, because I really think he could have almost won for Tick, Tick, Boom. And it just felt like, again, like we could get him back.
In that movie. Well,
just the best.
It was the Will Smith year.
I know.
Little did we know where that would lead us.
I'm so bummed that he didn't win for that, because he is so great in Tick, Tick, Boom. But I was like, maybe he will like return for We Live in Time. That didn't really pan out. But yeah, exactly. Like he looks so good in this. They played this trailer at CinemaCon. It was probably the same. It looked very similar to the one I saw when I went to CinemaCon, and just looks great. It looks like the movie that everyone will be talking about this entire season.
I don't know if we are ready for the campus cancel culture movie from Luca Guadagnino and producer Brian Grazer, noted Trump voter, but I'm in for it. And Andrew Garfield did not get an Oscar nomination last season, but he did get like the viral clip of him cleaning off or putting on his glasses at the Golden Globes, which is maybe that's good.
I think so.
It counts for something. Okay, so next week the TIFF announcements are coming every day. I'm going to write about them in the newsletter. I don't think we're going to do one of these next week unless I am at the beach and get a wild hair and decide to do it. But more of this to come at the Prestige Junkie After Party, so people should subscribe.
Absolutely. Subscribe now. It's great. It'll be so much fun.
Yeah, it's great. There's very little on there. But this is the kind of thing you can expect, and it'll be really fun. And thank you for all of you joining what was technically just a tech check that turned out to be a fun conversation.
It was great.
We'll see you guys later. We'll see if I know how to turn this thing off.